Now for more, former New York Congressman and NYPD detective Anthony D'Esposito and editor-at-large at Breitbart, author Alex Marlow. Great to have you both with us tonight. And clearly, look, the goal here is to not only clean up our cities, but to make them safer. The president also signing an executive order that didn't get any attention from the legacy media to essentially get all the homeless people off the streets. The order stating that the majority of these people are either addicted to drugs or are suffering from some form of mental disorder or both. Quote, states have spent tens of billions of dollars on failed programs that address homelessness, but not its root causes, leaving citizens vulnerable to public safety threats. There was once a time, gentlemen, where Democrats were tough on crime. Those days are over. The president also talked about the possibility of reopening insane asylums, medical hospitals, loony bins. And at first, I know people at home are probably laughing. We're not laughing. Anthony, to you first. Insane asylums, should they come back for people like that guy that we just showed you, singing in the middle of New York in the middle of the day looking for money?
Well, we certainly must do something, and thankfully, President Trump is doing something. And I've said this before, and I will say it again. I think, and it proves over the last 24 hours, there has never been a commander-in-chief. There has never been somebody in the Oval Office who has been a greater friend to law enforcement than Donald Trump. What happened yesterday, and you mentioned it in your monologue, and you are so correct. It's not about Washington, D.C. It's not about our nation's capital. It is about the current and the future of law enforcement in America. It's about giving police officers, it's about giving cops the thought that there is somebody who has their back, that the commander-in-chief wants to see them to succeed.
Right.
The opportunity for the justice system to actually work, where you go out and put handcuffs on people and they actually, they go to jail, and you don't have these rogue DAs doing whatever they want. So
Exactly.
What happened yesterday is important for the future of law enforcement across this nation.
Alex, I read this morning. You wrote this for Breitbart. I left Washington, D.C. Here's why I'm thrilled Donald Trump is going to make it great again. Take us through what happened in Washington.
Yeah, first, Rob, I got to answer that question about the insane asylums, because I'm in California now, and we have insane asylums. They're at our parks. That's what they are. If you remember People's Park, we paved Paradise, put up a parking lot. No, we made it a crack den. That's what it is. MacArthur Park in downtown, we saw the ICE raids there, which is overrun by illegal aliens and by drug addicts, sometimes both. Simultaneously. I got a park by my house, which is clean. You know the difference is, Rob? There's a little fence around my park, so you can't get in unless you pay the $130 a month for the HOA. And then all of a sudden, you can have a park. So this state is completely mental in that regard, and that's going to be the model for the whole country, if it isn't already. So good for Trump in that regard. But I left D.C. when I got there, 2013, and the Obama years. It'd become the center of the world. Trump made it even better. It was so exciting to be there. It was so vibrant. It's such a great place to eat. The monuments, the architecture, the topography, the springs are great. The falls are great. It really could be one of the great cities on earth. But then by 2021, when I left, it was completely overrun. The crime, the stores were boarded up. Everyone was moving their businesses out of town. Windows getting broken. People concerned to go out at night. Things had deteriorated. Trump comes back to D.C., and he saw that immediately and thought, well, I'm going to do something about it. This is where I live now half the time, so I'm going to fix it. And he can, and he will, and he should.
Yeah, people say to me, Anthony, well, you're in Midtown. We're down in Tribeca. It's fine down there. Look, we're a block away from Bernie Madoff's old building, Blackstone. We're a block from Park Avenue, a block from BlackRock headquarters. This is the most vibrant part of the city and the busiest part of the city during the week, and it is utter squalor. And I lived here 25 years ago when Rudy Giuliani was mayor. So I know what the difference is, Anthony, and I know you know what the difference is between that time period and what we're seeing right now.
Absolutely. And I think we could tie it back beginning with the downfall of our state, with our state legislature and our governor imposing criminal justice reform and cashless bail and creating this revolving door of justice. In places like New York City, you have cops that take an oath, that want to go out there and do the right thing. They want to put handcuffs on people. They want to protect the vulnerable. But yet when they do, they send them to court, and we have rogue DAs like Alvin Bragg who let them out immediately. And the idea is that, whenever we have a shooting, and we had it last week, and all of a sudden we hear Democrats from across the country saying, well, this is why we need stricter gun laws. Ladies and gentlemen that are listening, New York has some of the strictest gun laws in America. I will tell you right now, I've taken hundreds of illegal firearms off the street.
Yeah.
Never once did anybody present me with their pistol license. And I'll tell you right now, the Democrats continue to put signs up all over New York City. This is a gun-free zone. It's not working. What will work is taking the handcuffs off the cops, allowing them to put people behind bars, and actually having prosecutors that want to put criminals behind bars and not go after cops.
Alex, about 25 seconds. Look, I am so sick of hearing about protect the vulnerable. You know who I'm concerned about? My family, my friends.
Yes.
Okay, I don't care about the vulnerable. Put them in homes, put them in insane asylums, get them off the streets. It shouldn't be what it is right now. About 25 seconds.
Yeah, I wrote about this in Breaking the Law, which you were kind enough to feature last week, Rob. It's the left hates law and order. They would prefer chaos. They would prefer the criminals, the shoplifters, even the murderers get preferential treatment to law-abiding, tax-paying citizens. Think about the way they talk about illegal aliens. They regard illegal aliens as the best citizens. They're better than the law-abiding. They're completely nuts, and that's why we need to just forge ahead.
Absolutely.